Well, we're just about 72 hours away from Thanksgiving meal, and when family gathers around the table, sometimes your little ones just don't want to go along with the plan, right? Joining us once again is child development expert Kendra Morgan to tell us about how to make this Thanksgiving a memorable one in a good way, a good memory. Good morning.
Good morning.
So first things first, we want to try to prepare our children for Thursday, right? Prepare ahead of time.
Yeah. So I say it all the time, but we have to talk them through our expectations. So talk them through what the day looks like, what we have planned. Know that everything we plan isn't always going to happen, but they still need to know what's coming next. So talk to them where you're going, what you're doing, how you're going to sit down as a family, eat dinner. What do you expect? Do you expect them to sit at the table? Set those examples and talk about it. Start talking about it now.
We have a full screen graphic that we can show people too, because there's a lot of points I went to hit on. So we talked about walkthrough. I love this. Kendra, we were talking earlier, being a helper. How can we teach our kids to help at the table?
Yeah, no, this is so important, because what happens is we do all the work and then we call for them to come in, sit down and eat and expect them to sit. But if they are a helper along the way, they're going to sit longer for us. So they can set the table, they can put the ice in the glasses, they can put the forks where they go. It's really a developmental thing. If they are setting the table, they're working their executive functioning skills, their organization skills, their communication skills. You're telling them what to do, they're following instruction. And you know what? A 4, 5, 6-year-old can do this. And then they have a sense of ownership and want to actually sit at the table that they set.
That's so smart. Tell us about new foods and the value of trying new foods, but not overwhelming. And, you know, if they're stuffed, they're stuffed. I mean, they can't eat anymore.
Right. So we have to remember their tummies are little. So I always think a child should have their own plate. They shouldn't eat off of your plate. Their plate can be smaller than the adult plate, but they need a plate. Always put food on there that they're familiar with. And then you're okay to add some new foods, but just know that research shows it takes 8 to 15 times to see a new food for a child to try it. So chances are they are not going to sit down and eat the green bean casserole that they've never seen before. You can put it on their plate, and then just the power of words, right? Announcing they're a picky eater makes that child feel a little insecure. Fill up their plate, let them try it. With what they eat, and what they don't, it's okay.
You don't need to prep the family for, hey, he or she's a picky eater,
No.
so just be, and especially not within their earshot.
Correct. Children are smart and they pick up on that. So just make it as positive as possible.
Being thankful, of course, it's in the name, Thanksgiving. It's what we're talking about, but how do we teach kids to be thankful during this time of year?
Yeah, so research shows in order for a child to be thankful, it has to be taught. So we have to start really teaching them that it's a privilege to have food on the table. It's a privilege to have a family get together. And so start talking about those things that you're thankful for and let them know and ask them, what are you thankful for? And even if their answer is silly, it's awesome that they're starting to process and starting to think about what they're thankful for. So it has to be taught. So it's a perfect time to start talking about it.
One more point that I wanted to get through that we had kind of outlined in the beginning in the graphic was the last one was about manners. And really, as we were prepping for this interview, you were talking about manners and how this is an opportune time to teach kids about how to behave.
Yeah. No, take advantage of it. Manners, again, have to be taught. Sitting at the table when the adults are sitting there, it's okay for a child to sit. Now, I will say a little tip. Research shows that if their feet are touching the ground, so we call it 90, 90, 90, they will sit longer, right? If you are an adult and you sit at a bar stool and your feet are dangling, it's really hard for children to stay focused. So their feet need to be down. If they're sitting at a regular table, put a box underneath them and let their feet sit on a box.
Smart.
It's giving them core strength and they'll sit longer for you. And then teach them manners. Teach them, yes, please, thank you, how to pass the food around. They're gonna spill their drinks. They're gonna knock stuff over. They're children. They're supposed to do that. Just clean it up and keep teaching them.
One of the best inventions, I think, those plastic covered, nylon covered Thanksgiving tablecloths, not real cloth, but the plasticky ones. Just perfect for kids.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Kendra, so much, and happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.
Happy Thanksgiving to you guys.